Hello everyone, what should you be spending your gems in inside the game for beginners, intermediate, and experts? Depending on how lazy I am, we might throw something over there. Otherwise, I just held up my hands for nothing. But at any rate, I do want to say there's a ton of different ways to play the game. So use this at your own discretion. This is how I did it and I find is working for me. But obviously, if you find another way that works better for you, go ahead and do it that way. Nobody's going to blame you. Well, people will probably blame you, but I'm not going to blame you. And as far as what I'm considering beginner, intermediate, and expert, beginners, anybody before chapter 10 around that point. Intermediate, probably up to the point of maybe 20 to 25 or so. And then expert, anything past there. Maybe I should use the word advanced, but hey, it is what it is. One thing that's not going to depend on any of these classes that you're in is if there's an event coming up and you're able to get some good stuff by spending some gems. But as far if you're just starting the game, I'm a big believer of going and investing in your summons. Do the 10 pulls for them, 2,700. Your main objective should be trying to get your heroes to 11 stars, at least 5 of them. The big thing being when you get 5 heroes up to 11 stars and get their level up to 220, your soul link is going to be called something that you can unlock called perfect link. And this is going to be mainly what you use for upgrading your hero levels. Yes, I know it may be tempting to see that piece of gear in there that's sitting at legendary for 4,000 gems, but I promise you, stay away from it. You'll be getting a bunch of that stuff later in the game. For all you intermediate players out there, arena tokens are huge. You should be buying your extra 14 every single day for an extra 600. And I would even go one step further and buy the extra 20 torches for the Cave of Abyss. If you do your daily missions every single day and you focus on these as a free-to-play player, it shouldn't be any issue for you being able to get this. Another thing I want you to keep an eye on inside the shop is those mysterious apples. If you spend a little bit of money on the game, even better. It can be a lot easier to get them. But this is what's going to increase your engraving. And just with enough apples, you can go and take your hero up to level 10 engraving, which is going to unlock that first special stat. This is going to be huge for your team, and I wouldn't really say worry about pushing it past there. I mean, getting at least your main heroes that you use up to that 10 to unlock it there, is it going to be a big difference? But if there is somebody like my Lilith, for example, that you really want to push hard on it, it's never a bad idea to kind of just keep on going. But it is going to take a lot of apples. For you advanced expert players out there, the big thing I honestly believe you should be spending your gems on is going to be Abyssal Embers. These things are hard to come across, and this is going to be what's behind leveling up your gear, even trying to take it to Mythic, and in some situations, making those artifacts. But there's one other thing that I want you to keep your eye on inside the shop, and that's going to be the inner crystal spheres. These things are being a complete pain in the butt for me to get. I've been going from like 30 up to 60, just trying to get them. It's been like 3 weeks now. I might get maybe 3 of them even dropped inside the secret sanctum, if I see any at all. So that's going to be a huge thing when you're trying to take these heroes from say 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to even max out at 40 for your engraving. And believe me, it does make a huge difference when you do max out your engraving. For certain heroes, that is. And I'm not just talking about buying the blue Abyssal Ember for 1,000, I'm talking about getting the purples for 2,000 and then even the reds for 4,000. Yes, you can get them from the guild, you can get them from even playing the Abyss, but there's so few to none there, and there's so many heroes that could benefit from having these. It's something that I'm seeing and grabbing anytime I have the chance to. The one last thing I'd probably say to maybe just spend 1,000 gems once on is if you are playing the actual Dimensional Rift and you're stuck on Modan there and it's just being a pain, you get them down to like half health, just go and spend the extra 1,000 gems. It makes it so much easier just to get past them the first time. I struggled over and over. I said, you know what, I'm just gonna spend 1,000 gems. Went in with my top 5 again and totally crushed them. Yeah, it was spending 1,000. It technically was a 4th army, but it's so nice to get past that point. And in my opinion, 11 isn't as bad as going up against that final boss in 10. So that's what I'm calling the best things to spend your gems on for beginner, intermediate, and expert. So let me know what you guys are spending your gems on inside the game. If you want to see what my 200 pulls were inside this lunar event, which by the way, didn't really turn out to be as good and smooth as I would have liked it to be, but it is what it is. Really hoping that maybe the next event goes a little better for us. But check out that video right there. Thanks for watching, and remember, I pick my butt.